In the history of Indian constitutional law, there is one judgment that stands taller than all others. A judgment that did not merely interpret the constitution but protected its identity. Hi, welcome to Achievers Law Academy's YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to learn about the historic judgment of Kesavananda Bharati vs. State of Kerala decided in the year of 1973. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do subscribe and continue watching. This landmark judgment introduced the Basic Structure Doctrine, a doctrine that continues to protect the supremacy of the Indian Constitution and defines the constitutional limits of Parliament's amending power. Let us now understand the background, issues, and lasting constitutional significance of this historic judgment. Kesavananda Bharati was the Muttadipadi of Ednir Mutt, a Hindu religious institution located in the present-day Kasaragod district of Kerala. The Mutt owned large extent of land used for religious and charitable purposes. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, the Kerala government enacted several land reform legislations, especially the Kerala Land Reform Act, aimed at imposing land ceilings and redistributing excess land. These laws severely affected the Ednir Mutt, leading to loss of property and restrictions on its management rights. Aggrieved by this, Kesavananda Bharati approached the Supreme Court of India under Article 32, challenging the constitutional validity of these land reform laws. While the case began as a challenge to land reforms, the Supreme Court soon realized that a much larger constitutional issue was involved. The core question before the court became, does Parliament have unlimited power under Article 368 to amend the Constitution? This raised further questions. First, can Parliament amend fundamental rights? Second, can Parliament destroy the core identity of the Constitution? Third, is there any limitation on Parliament's amending power? Before this case, the Supreme Court itself had taken different and conflicting views. In Shankari Prasad vs. Union of India 1951, the court held that Parliament could amend fundamental rights. This view was reaffirmed in Sajjan Singh vs. State of Rajasthan 1965. However, in Golaknath vs. State of Punjab 1967, the Supreme Court reversed its earlier position and held that Parliament has no power to amend fundamental rights at all. These conflicting decisions created serious constitutional uncertainty. To finally settle the issue, the Supreme Court constituted the largest bench in Indian judicial history, consisting of 13 judges. The case was heard for 68 days, making it one of the longest constitutional hearings ever conducted in India. The court examined the nature of constitutional amendment, the scope of Article 368, and the relationship between Parliament and the Constitution. The petitioners argued that the Constitution is supreme, Parliament derived its power from the Constitution, therefore, Parliament cannot destroy the Constitution while amending it. They contended that certain features of the Constitution are permanent. Unlimited amending power would lead to authoritarianism and fundamental rights form part of the constitutional core. Whereas, the state argued that Parliament represents the will of the people, Article 368 grants wide and unrestricted amending power, no part of the Constitution should be immune from amendment. According to the state, placing limitations on Parliament would obstruct social and economic reforms. On 24th April 1973, the Supreme Court of India delivered the historic judgment. By a narrow majority of 7:6, the court held that Parliament has the power to amend the Constitution under Article 368, including fundamental rights, but it cannot alter or destroy the basic structure of the Constitution. This judgment partially overruled Golaknath and upheld Parliament's power to amend subject to constitutional limitations. The most important contribution of this judgment was the formulation of the Basic Structure Doctrine. The court held that certain essential features form the basic structure of the Constitution and cannot be amended or destroyed. Though no exhaustive list was given, the court identified several features including supremacy of the Constitution, republican and democratic form of government, secular character of the Constitution, federalism, separation of powers, judicial review, rule of law, dignity of the individual, unity and integrity of the nation. Any amendment damaging these features would be unconstitutional. After this judgment, Parliament attempted to dilute its effect through the 42nd Constitutional Amendment, which declared that Parliament's amending power was unlimited. However, in Minerva Mills v. Union of India 1980, the Supreme Court struck down these provisions and reaffirmed the Basic Structure Doctrine. Thus, Kesavananda Bharati became permanently embedded in Indian constitutional law. With this, we have come to the end of our discussion on Kesavananda Bharati v. State of Kerala, a judgment that did not merely interpret the constitution but protected its very soul. By laying down the Basic Structure Doctrine, the Supreme Court ensured that power has limits, the democracy survives, and the constitution remains supreme. Even after more than 5 decades, this judgment continues to act as the guardian of Indian constitutional values. If you find this video helpful, do like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Achievers Law Academy's YouTube channel. Thank you.